Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Show Me Your Deck. We got Blake here today from our local pod here in Phoenix. I'm excited to hear about the deck, Blake. Before we get into it though, can I touch it?
Absolutely.
Thank you.
You don't even have to ask.
It's so nice. All right, what'd you bring today? What is this? Who's your commander?
My deck for you guys today is Karlov of the Ghost Council.
Okay. What is Karlov?
Karlov is an Orzhov legendary spirit advisor. He reads, whenever you gain life, to put 2+1/+1 counters on Karlov. Then you can pay Orzhov, remove 6 1/1 counters from Karlov, and exile target creature.
Oh. You know, I keep doing these videos, and every time I just think about how much I've been burned by these decks, and this is one of them.
Yeah.
Okay, what was going through your mind when you built this? Why did you build it?
So the story behind this deck is I actually... So you know my play style, and you know how I tend to like to build decks. I like to put big creatures on the board without paying for
free.
them. Yep. So Kalia the Vast, Atla Palani, even Arcades for a while, even though I'm not cheating them out, they become 6/6 after being cast for 2.
Totally.
So that was my main building archetype for a while, and I decided I'm going to try something a little bit different.
Okay.
And I decided that I wanted to build. So the story was I wanted to build something while I went to MagicCon Vegas last year. I said, I'm going to make a list. I'm going to go to MagicCon Vegas. I'm going to get all the cards that I need there. I had after I built the list, I had a couple of things already, on hand, but I was like, I need 90% of the cards, and I'm going to get them all at MagicCon Vegas.
Fun. Okay.
So when I was looking at commanders that were interesting, or even just, being on Instagram, just scrolling reels of my content creators, somebody, I don't remember who it was, somebody showed Karlov, and I said, that man is a menace, and he looks like he would be really fun. So I looked into him, and I built, and I looked at deck lists, and there's a couple of different ways you can go with this deck. And so you can go Orzhov stax, and you can just prolong the game forever and ever and ever while just gaining life and building value and, controlling the board, and eventually just people decide they no longer want to play. That's not really how I'm interested.
Win by submission.
Yeah. And that's not really how I want to play Magic. And,
totally.
And if that's what you want to do, that's fine.
A great way to build the deck.
Yeah. He's got, the built-in removal in the command zone is
dangerous.
Dangerous. The other way that people build this is through draining. So when you gain life, losing life, and triggers and combos off of that, which, again, there are plenty of ways to do that. There are plenty of combo synergy
Lots
pieces.
Of infinites,
yeah. So, you could do that as well. But that wasn't very interesting to me. What was really interesting to me was whenever you gain life, put 2 1/1 counters on him. And I said, if I can gain life 4 or 5 times a turn, I can hit somebody in the mouth for 40.
Yeah.
So
you built it as like a Voltron almost.
I sure did.
Yeah.
So this is Karlov Voltron. And basically the deck is built in a way that I'm just gaining one or 2 life multiple times.
Yeah.
So cards like Guide of Souls. So whenever a creature I control enters, I gain 1 life. Okay, I get a creature, and I get 2 1/1 counters on Karlov. Soul Warden and Soul's Attendant go absolutely bananas in this deck. Just, again, anytime anybody plays anything, I get value off of it. Karlov gets bigger. And then ultimately, what's even more fun is if he gets, 21 counters on him, and then he gets Swords to Plowshares. I say, okay, well, I'll gain 40 life.
And so when you're sitting down, Voltron, often, also, having the exile in the command zone is very control-y as well. And very quickly you can put the counters right back on him. When you're sitting down at a table at a pod, when are you bringing this out? What bracket is this? What do other people have to tell you that their kind of power level is in order for you to be like, okay, time to bring out Karlov?
So,
because I've played against it, and I know none of my decks compete with it.
He's very much so he's technically a 4 because he does have 3 game changers in there. He has Demonic Tutor, Enlightened Tutor, and Smothering Tithe. Truthfully, there's room for more. There's room for more game changers. Again, Bolas' Citadel, Necropotence. Those are the ones off the top of my head, but there's room for more if that's the way that I want to go with it, and I could. But so high 3, probably a low 4. Voltron is not always as entirely competitive at a bracket 4, just because people can combo and can win at instant speed, whereas Karlov, at least as he's currently constructed, can't really do that.
So yeah, that is very true, and that brings me to my next question. So your main path forward is to hit with a lot of power.
Yep.
Hit winning commander damage. Next WinCon though, people have blockers up. You can't quite get your trample out. How do you win that next? Like, what's your alternate WinCon? Is it bleeding? Is it
there's no combos for when somebody loses life, I gain life, and when I gain life, they lose life. There's none of that in there, and that wasn't interesting to me. So I am relying entirely on being able to get through with commander damage. So so getting him huge, and then either giving him flying, giving him non-basic land walk. So Trailblazer's boots goes crazy. Rogue's passage, making him fully unblockable, also goes crazy. So this deck is built around gaining small amounts of life at any given point, making him unblockable, and then just other, Orzhov pieces. So card draw, removal, things like that. But the cards that make him unblockable, so Trailblazer's boots are super, super key. Key to the City has been a great one. Brotherhood Regalia. Honestly, Brotherhood Regalia is an extremely underrated card. Should probably be in most decks that care about any form of combat damage dealing. Makes him completely unblockable and gives him a little bit more protection. And then the other thing that becomes really important with Karlov, especially once he gets big, is protecting him. So again, those people that have the Swords to Plowshares, that have, murder, can just kill him. I need to be able to keep him on the board.
Well, and a lot of times something I like about Brotherhood Regalia, because I have that in my Captain America deck as well, is a lot of times people will hold up their Path to Exile or whatever for right before it's their turn. So they're tapped out. They kept up that 1 or 2 extra mana for a spell, and then they cast it. But then you have Brotherhood's Regalia, and I personally think Ward is so often forgotten about as a keyword. So they play it, and you're like, oh,
pay 2.
Sucks to suck, dude. No valid target. You can't do it. And so that's, Brotherhood Regalia, great card in the deck. Great card in the deck. What is, other than Commander, when you're looking at your deck and how it runs and how it functions, what is 1 or 2 cards in here that there's just no way you could get rid of them? If you had to completely cut it and just completely rebuild it, what's 1 or 2 cards that would instantly have a spot back in this deck?
So cards that are super important are Lurrus of the Dream Den, a great recursion piece, especially because things do get removed, especially, come board wipe and, my Soul Sisters are gone, or, my unblockable pieces, my Brotherhood Regalia, my Silver Shroud costume, they're gone. The Lurrus will help me get them back from the graveyard. So that card is just, it goes so crazy. The other one that is just honestly another card that just should be in almost every deck is Authority of the Consuls.
Thought you were going to say Soul Ring for a second.
No. That's a whole
Authority
other conversation. Authority of Consuls, creatures your opponents control enter tapped, and then whenever they enter, you gain 1 life. So, it's the stacks piece. It gives me 1 life, which buffs
2
Karlov.
counters, yeah.
And it's just awesome.
Yeah.
And a lot of these things act as kind of a lightning rod to try and draw removal away from Karlov. I can't tell you how many times people are like, I need to get rid of that. So I have Bloodthirsty Conqueror in the deck, and people are like, I need to get rid of that immediately. And I'm like, yeah, go for it.
Yeah.
Because I would much rather them get rid of Bloodthirsty Conqueror rather than Karlov.
Yeah, it's kind of a smoking gun, right? It's like, yeah, look over here, but
right.
But that's not really the issue.
Or even cards like, so I have the Ozolith in here, which is a great card for any deck that cares about 1/1 counters. And people are like, that needs to go immediately. And they're right, it needs to go, because if I can keep stacking counters, then I will do that.
Well, and then at that point with the Ozolith out there, you don't even need Karlov on the battlefield to deal the big damage. You could put all that onto
something else.
Anybody.
Yep.
So that's a very powerful card in there. When you're when you're playing against other pods, what kind of stumps you in this deck? Is there any specific meta in Magic that it's kind of like, oh, that's going to be hard to play against?
Well, so again,
maybe not a lot of creatures coming in the battlefield.
Yeah, so the hard part with Karlov and something that I'm still working on is card draw and my mana curve. Just because a lot of my creatures and a lot of my artifacts are pretty low cost, so I kind of burn through them pretty quickly. Cast a Soul Sister turn 1, cast Karlov turn 2, drop a couple other creatures, and then if I don't have much card draw on the field, then I could potentially be top decking for the rest of the game.
Totally.
So that part is challenging, and I am still kind of like figuring out. And again, maybe Necropotence would be a good ad for this to try and alleviate that, especially since again I'm gaining so much life that spend 20 of it and draw 20 cards to draw an answer.
Yeah, Belus's Citadel or whatever it's called. I'll probably pronounce it wrong. I'll hear it in the comments. Always do. But
again, so the way that Karlov is he gets big and scary really quickly. So any pods that have a decent amount of interaction are going to interact with him and or my board pretty immediately, which is kind of fun, actually. I kind of like being the big bad, and kind of it's fun to see the table
kind of yourself the whole time.
Yeah, it's fun to see the table kind of join together and be like, hey, this guy's the threat.
It's so evil.
It's I don't know, and I have obviously if you had a rough night and then you went 0-3 and you're like, well, I'm gonna be the big bad and then go 4. That's not fun. But again, I know that he's gonna spiral out of control almost immediately, especially if I can get a Soul Sister out, like a Soul Warden. Immediate value. And
it's funny because I obviously they've never played with you in a round of Commander. I have, and I've never heard it described better, being the big bad. That is so your play style. And it's annoying how often you win still, because you are, and we are all trying to take you out, but it just doesn't work. Yeah, it just doesn't work. You just build better decks than us. All right, so
your words, not mine.
Better than me, at least.
Right.
So we're getting into late game. Let's say you're pulling. Let's say it's early game, right?
Yeah.
Starting hand, you have a demonic tutor. What card are you searching for?
That's going to depend on what I have in my hand already.
Such a good answer.
So I want something that's going to gain me a life probably on every turn. So whether that's a Soul Sister or an Authority of the Consuls, those are my I really, really got to have these. An underrated one that, especially as we get later in the game, is Exemplar of Light, which is whenever I gain life, put a 1/1 counter on this creature, and then whenever one or more counters are put on that creature, draw a card.
Yeah.
So especially if I can get that out on curve on turn 4, then that just continues to draw me cards, because I generally will have things that will gain me life and will generally be able to keep gaining life, keep drawing cards, and can sculpt my hand to be like, okay, well, these are the cards I need to win this game.
Totally.
Otherwise, if I've got my life gain and I've got a little bit of card draw, I'm gonna grab something that gives. I'm either looking for protection or unblockableness. So I'm gonna grab the Brotherhood Regalia. Robe of Stars has actually been a great protection piece that I've added recently.
Phased out is so nice. Yeah.
Phasing out.
I'm not talking about the YouTube channel.
Well, you got to plug your own channel. So, Silver Shroud Costume is another incredibly underrated card to give protection and unblockable. Very big fan. Whispersill Cloak. Again, another card that if you care at all about damage being dealt, probably should be in your decks.
Underrated about Silver Shroud Costume is the instant equip.
That
is so good.
Instant equip.
Because instead of just costing 2 to cast and 3 to equip, it's an instant equip into the commander right away.
Into protection. So they've targeted it with Path to Exile, and I say, I don't think so.
Yeah, with the flashes.
And then I know who I'm hitting next turn.
Now you know who public enemy number 2 is right behind you, right? That's awesome. Yeah, that's really awesome. So I know you said you told us a story about this being deck that you built entirely out of cards, almost entirely out of cards from MagicCon. We're going to MagicCon 2026.
Yes, we are.
Here in Vegas in a few months. We're driving up there. Any upgrades that you're looking to pick up while you're there? Because I feel like you can't just order those. You can't just get those. You can't just buy those. You have to get them at Vegas.
Right. I think one of the big pieces that I would love to have in here is Sarah's Ascendant. Just dropping that big body turn 1, and especially because I'm almost always going to have more than 30 life. Just being able to gain me 6 life whenever I really want is so awesome. And I didn't have the budget the last time that I went to MagicCon, but I think I'm going to grab one this time.
Oh, that's so good to hear.
And again, there are plenty of cards that I really could add to this deck, especially if I do decide to shift it from being Voltron to being combo or being, stax.
Have you thought about that? Have you thought about making the switch?
Well,
it doesn't seem like you need to. Again, playing against it plays pretty well so far.
No,
so
I don't think so.
It's a fun, unique way to have it. I haven't seen that very often.
No, a lot of the deck lists didn't build him that way, and that's kind of where I wanted to be like, let's see how that goes.
Yeah.
And honestly, it's been awesome.
Yeah, it's been fun. Any really fun stories you have with this deck? Playing in the pod, playing at your local game stores, anything like that where you're just like, oh, dude, that was so cool. Just popped off, did its thing.
So the most recent was actually, our friend Austin, we were at a commander night and he had just taken apart all of his decks. He had one deck and a pre-con, and he's like, hey man, like, will you let me borrow something? And I'm like, yeah, like totally. And I handed him Karlov, and not like 5 minutes later, he texts me, he's like, this deck is insane. And he literally was like, I've been sandbagging for the past 3 turns because I've very clearly won this game.
That's so funny. So it wasn't even your doing, but watching somebody else. That's such a good sign of a good deck builder, is when someone else can perform well with your deck. That's so good.
Yeah.
For any of the viewers looking to maybe build their own Karlov or maybe trying to go the Voltron route like you did, any tips or tricks that you would give somebody who's starting off in the white and black sphere here to build this?
I mean, so my big pieces, again, especially if you're going to be on a budget, is protection and card draw. Because again, if you can get one or two of the value engines to gain life, like Karlov will get pretty big, but then you got to invest in the pieces to protect him. So, and that's something that I didn't realize up front, is like when people would interact with him, I really didn't have a whole heck of a lot of answers. So I started getting cards like Lauren's Escape to give him hexproof. Restoration Magic has been a great card ever since it came out. Let's see what else. So, I mean, just cards that like at instant speed when he gets targeted, that I can keep him on the board. And then just cards that give card draw. So again, the Exemplar of Light, Phyrexian Arena is a great card. You could even look to add something big like a Villas Broker of Blood to pay life and to give you even remove creatures all while drawing cards. So those, especially like on a budget, those are going to be really important. But otherwise, yeah, just get a bunch of little things that give you just little itty bitty bits of life.
Yeah, I often say, and what one of my good friends told me one time was, the person who often wins a game of Magic Commander is the person who played and drew the most cards. And it's really real, and I think that's a real way to think about playing. If you're going to draw, you're going to get close to your win con. So it's great advice. Last question I have for you.
Okay.
Gotta ask, I see some tattoos on the thigh, some on the arm. Any Magic the Gathering tattoos?
Not at this time. However, I have thought about it. Kalia was my first commander. Have thought about her sword and her staff. Still on the table. However, my wife would make so much fun of me because she thinks this is so nerdy.
Well, it is. She's not wrong.
No. She's totally right. But
can I give you an idea?
I'm all ears.
Great place to get a tattoo. Las Vegas, Nevada, at MagicCon 2026.
The last time,
what's the likelihood?
The last time we tried to get somebody in our friend group a tattoo in Vegas, somebody lost a bet, and they were supposed to get a Taco Bell sauce packet on their butt.
Oh, wow.
An actual size taco, so this big. The guy that we went into to see. Like, it was on the Strip. It was like a tattoo shop that was open 24 hours, whatever.
Oh, no.
He was like,
kinda
I
scary.
can't make it that small. I'd have to make it this big. And we were like,
Oh, so just get a back piece.
well, that wasn't the bet though. He was like, the whole bet was you have to get an actual size tattoo.
That's hilarious.
And the guy was like, nah, I can't do it. And we're like, all right,
Bro was money.
we're
hungry.
good.
Okay, my next question then. Next question. How many likes on this video to have you get your Kali of the Vast tattoo?
Ooh. I mean, you would know. What's a
10,000?
10,000? Yeah.
10,000 likes and we have a deal.
10,000. Sounds good. I'll check on that.
All right, here we go. Dude, thanks for showing us your deck. Thanks for letting me touch your deck. It was great.
I love it when you touch my deck.
And it was fun to have you. And we'll see you guys all next time.
Thanks.